Trading Christmas is based on the book by Debbie Macomber. It was released in 2011 and was directed by Michael Scott. It tells the story of a widow named Emily who wants to spend Christmas time with her daughter Heather. Whoops, wrong footage, this isn't a How to Train Your Dragon Christmas special. And when Emily swaps house in Boston, her daughter ends up going on a holiday to Phoenix with her boyfriend.
This year actually marks the 10th anniversary of Trading Christmas, so woohoo! Happy 10th anniversary Trading Christmas. This is the perfect time to review it, I guess. I discovered this movie it was actually in 2020 when I watched Power Rangers Dino Thunder again. I was doing some research on the cast and seeing what the actors were like in other movies. Did they have major roles in other films? Because we all know how much I love that cast. And when I was on Emma Lahana's filmography, I noticed that she was in a film called Trading Christmas. And a while ago, I was flickering through the TV guide and I noticed, oh hey, Trading Christmas is on. That's that film with Emma Lahana, isn't it? So I decided to give it a watch. I'm going to be completely honest, when it comes to the romantic comedy genre, not really my cup of tea. I have seen two romantic comedies. I have seen No Strings Attached, which I had no opinion on whatsoever, and I've also seen The Vow, which actually was surprisingly pretty good. So, Trading Christmas, I decided to give the benefit of the doubt. While romantic comedies aren't really my cup of tea, I'd still be willing to give something the benefit of the doubt, even when it's part of a genre that isn't really for me. After watching Trading Christmas, though, I can safely say I quite enjoy Trading Christmas. I think Trading Christmas is a pretty decent, good movie. I think it's a nice, enjoyable Christmas movie that I'd actually watch again. The storyline was not great. It didn't have a great story. It was good enough, but it wasn't anything spectacular. I think it uses a good chunk of cliches. It has some cliches that are executed well, but some cliches it uses are just the type of cliches that are quite impossible to execute right, which is a bit of a shame. So the movie can be quite predictable at times, which isn't entirely a bad thing. The pacing would also be another problem for me. The middle of the film I feel started to drag a little, but thankfully it didn't drag too much. Also, I feel the dialogue is a bit of a mixed bag. It does have some pretty corny lines of dialogue. While some of the corny dialogue is quite funny, some of it is just, not very good. But it does have some genuine good heart, and it does have a good story. However, another problem I have is the parallels it has. I get it that they're trying to make the four major characters parallel one another, but it just feels too similar to the point where it just felt copy and pasted. I get it, they want to make it, parallel to one another, but it just felt a little way too similar, where to me, it just felt a little copy and pasted. So yeah, the story is pretty decent. The actors do a pretty good job playing the roles. Sure, some of the dialogue is pretty corny, but hey ho, that's just the direction they're given. And now on to the characters.
So we have the protagonist, Emily, who is actually pretty well written in my book. She's quite sympathetic when she finds it hard to accept the death of her husband, even 3 years after it happened. It's quite realistic, actually. It does get a little cliche when she tries her best to be with her daughter, but I think for what the execution is, it's handled quite nicely. Emily's daughter, Heather, oh for God's sake, this isn't a How to Train Your Dragon video. It's about a Christmas movie, not a How to Train Your Dragon special. Ah, there we go. She's good for who she is. It can be a little generic at first with her feeling old and wanting to spend Christmas time on her own, but her development is quite good throughout the course of the movie. It's been done before, but it's decent enough. There's Faith, who is Emily's friend, who is absolutely hilarious and has a lot of funny lines.
Okay, out of which orifice do you suggest I start pulling dancing elves?
Faith was easily the funniest character in the movie. She made me laugh a lot and she brought in a lot of the film's humour. Charles, who has a back and forth dynamic with Faith, which can be entertaining, but it can be a little cheesy with some of the dialogue, and he starts off to be a little bit of a dick at first, but there is a very funny scene with him that is absolutely hilarious.
I'm Sarah. This is Joey. He doesn't talk to strangers.
It's a very good habit. Maybe you should try it.
Want to build a snowman?
Not today, thanks.
Does that mean you might want to tomorrow?
Probably not.
We have Charles' brother, Ray, who Emily starts falling in love with, is pretty good. He's not as developed as the other characters I mentioned, but he does have a really nice chemistry with Emily, and the relationship between Emily and Ray brings in a lot of the film's heart. Then there's Heather's boyfriend, Jason. Oh boy. The idiot boyfriend who the real beautiful girl is with, and then he gets bored because of her constant talk about old habits. Honestly, this guy is just the generic idiot boyfriend that you'll find in a lot of movies, and he's really not that interesting.
So the movie does have a pretty decent cast of characters. The music, however, well, for the most part is pretty good. They have a very corny pop song at the end. Well, the ending of the movie is nice. It's just, they throw in a pop song and it's just not my kind of song. It was just cheesy to me. Not horrible, but just not very good. So, Trading Christmas is actually a movie that I would happily watch again.
Overall, Trading Christmas is a decent movie. It does have a good chunk of corny dialogue, it can drag a little, and it does use a lot of cliches, but it's got some pretty good heart, a decent cast of characters, some good music, and the film has a lot of funny humour. It's definitely a fun Christmas movie, worth watching, and I'm going to give Trading Christmas a 7 out of 10.
So that's it for my review of Trading Christmas. I hope you enjoyed the review. Stay tuned for the next Christmassy review, which is going to be on DreamWorks' special Shrek the Halls. Stay tuned for that review. Until then, everyone, skadoosh everyone, and take care.